All right, everybody ready? Yeah. Good to go. Good morning. I want to start with, this is an FDLE investigation. As you know, all shootings, officer-involved shootings involving deputies of the Pasco Sheriff's Office become an FDLE investigation. I'm just out here today with our members to discuss some preliminary information because, you know, when deputies are involved in a shooting, we know the public wants to know what's happening. So the information I can give preliminarily, just to let you know what we have so far, we can provide it to you. As I said, things change during investigation, more facts come out, but this is all just what we have at the time. You know, at 6:09 a.m., a deputy, they were starting their shift. One deputy pulled into the gas station here. He was pumping gas, you know, just what a routine deputy would do, filling up gas. At that time, you know, an individual pulls up. He's a white male in his 70s. He starts talking to the deputy. The deputy said, from what we understand, he starts rambling stuff, saying about how he wants to kill somebody. He wants to drive his vehicle into the gas pumps to kill people. So, you know, this is one of those things where, you know, a deputy says, you know, I can understand, I deal with these things all day long. You know, a deputy was out there saying, I started talking to an individual for about 15 minutes. He was talking to an individual, trying to de-escalate the situation, trying to just help him out. From my understanding, the deputy offered him a cup of coffee and said, let's talk about this. Let's just, you know, try to figure out what's going on in your life and try to help you out. You know, the deputy then starts realizing he needs assistance because this individual is not de-escalating. He calls in for backup. His squad shows up. Numerous deputies show up. One of those deputies happens to be a hostage negotiator. So they're out there talking to this individual for a long period of time. It's almost 40 minutes that they're talking to this individual, trying to get him help, trying to figure out what is going on in his life, that he wants to kill somebody, he wants to drive his vehicle into the gas tanks and blow it up. You know, he also says he wants to shoot people. You know, for 40 minutes, I keep going back to it, for over 40 minutes they're trying to de-escalate the situation. At around 6:46 a.m., the deputies had already pre-positioned one of the vehicles in front to block him in, and they pre-positioned stop sticks underneath the vehicle in the back. Around 6:46 a.m., he accelerates, he strikes the vehicle that's in front of him, he rams that vehicle. At 6:47, the suspect starts shooting at the deputies. He starts shooting at the direction of the deputies. Two deputies immediately return fire onto the suspect. The suspect was shot, he was hit, he's in ICU at a local hospital right now. You know, thank God the deputies are okay, but I go back to this, I wish to God nobody was harmed today. I wish to God the situation could have de-escalated. I wish to God this would have just been, you know, what the deputies would say, a normal situation where somebody's in need of help and we can get them assistance and nobody got harmed. But they tried for over 40 minutes to de-escalate the situation. You know, this also demonstrates how quickly a situation turns where a deputy who just starting his shift, trying to get gas, turns into an incident where somebody gets shot. These are the tragedies that we deal with in our society. These are the tragedies that we deal with every day. You know, I'm very proud of our deputies for the fact that they try to de-escalate the situation. They try to do everything they can to help this individual out. You know, their professionalism, you know, what they were training kicked in. You know, the fact that these deputies are out there every day trying to save lives, but unfortunately when they're put into the position that somebody shoots at them, you know, they have to take action. Because if they had not taken action and this person would have fled, there could have been an innocent person whose life could have been taken because this individual stated they had a clear intent to harm other people. So, you know, we're working right now. As I said, this investigation is going to be led by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. All information will be provided through them going forward. You know, I said this individual did shoot at us. We did find a gun on scene. We have the gun in our possession that this individual used to shoot our deputies. You know, it's a tragedy. We wish to God nobody was harmed today, but unfortunately because of his actions, we had to take action. That action may have prevented him from harming somebody else. So with that, there's not many things I can answer. I just want to give you some preliminary information to begin with.
Sheriff, this entire interaction, was this 70-year-old man in his car the entire time, and did he shoot, I guess, through the window?
You know, I can't go into details right now, but it's my understanding that the shots were fired through the window towards the deputies. The deputies were around trying to talk to him, de-escalate the situation, but he went through the window.
And I'm sure at that time, the deputy was, of course, like you said, starting his day, but I'm sure there were maybe a couple of other people at the gas station, people inside, maybe outside as well.
Yeah, you know, you start getting bits and pieces from different deputies that were involved. There's numerous things that go into when there's officer-involved shooting. One is, of course, the investigation to make sure that our citizens get the full story of what's happened. But we also have to remember that these deputies are human beings. No law enforcement officer starts their shift thinking to themselves, I want to get into a shooting today. No, they don't think that. You know, they just want to go home. They want to be with their families. We're human beings like everybody else. We just want to spend time with our families. We just want to live our life like everybody else, but we want to live in a peaceful community like everybody else does. You know, as you start hearing some of the things that they're talking about, you know, the heroism of these individuals, the fact that, you know, one of them was screaming to people, hey, make sure you get back, get out of here. You know, we're dealing with somebody that is trying to harm people. You know, he's trying to block off. You know, they're concerned for other people involved that could just pull up. I mean, God forbid, you know, not only for our deputies, we're in a very scary and dangerous situation for their own lives, but a family could have been taking their kids off to a soccer tournament or going to see their grandparents, or somebody's grandparents could have been pulling up, and this individual starts firing rounds, and one of them is inadvertently killed. You know, they're looking at all the situations. So, you know, it is a great question because there's so many things. It's not just focusing on an individual that's trying to harm other people, but they have to worry about all the citizens. And, you know, you're right here on 19. This is a very busy place. There's a lot of people coming around. But at the same time, as you know, not only is FDLE going to be investigating this, but we're going to be working because this individual has a family. We're going to offer them a victim advocate, you know, to help them out, because this is a crisis for them too. It's a crisis for our own members right now that they're going through this. And it's a crisis for their families because their loved ones, they kiss their loved ones goodbye, say, hey, we'll see you at the end of their shift, and something like this happen. And unfortunately, we've seen too many times in Tampa Bay in the past 60 days where people didn't come home from their shift. And I always say, God has a plan for everybody. God has a plan for every family. God's looking over those families that lost their loved ones. And we don't know what God's plan always is, but we have to support those families because without them, people can't put on this uniform to protect other people in our community. Anything else? Well, I appreciate it. God bless you. Have a great day, everybody.